I just got off the Carnival Conquest, and this cruise was nothing like I expected. After all, this ship has a reputation, and the internet loves to dunk on her. You've seen the TikToks, you've read the reviews, fights, disappearances, so naturally, I booked a cabin to see what all the hype is about. Hey, what's up? It's Corey. If you've ever wondered whether Conquest deserves the hate or if Celebration Key lives up to the hype, well, you're in the right place. Let's rewind the clock to Embarkation Day. You step on board Conquest on deck number 3, and you enter right into the heart of the ship. It's a gold and burgundy-filled atrium that feels like 2004 never left. It's got glass elevators that soar all the way up to the top decks of the ships, dramatic lighting, and that early Carnival aesthetic that's somehow both outdated and yet like a comfortable shoe that you've had for years that you can't get rid of. It's not trying to impress anybody, and it is what it is. And honestly, that's part of the charm of these older ships for Carnival. First things first, I did what everybody is supposed to, knock out the muster drill. I walked up and scanned my card, head nodded at the crew member, and done. At least I thought I was done. That's because a few hours later, my phone lit up with this not-so-friendly notification from Carnival saying, "You have not completed your muster drill." It's been a while since I've been on a Carnival ship, okay? But a couple taps later, I was all done and ready to find something to eat. Now, I could go to the ship's buffet, which is nicely appointed, filled with good tasting food that was always presented well. It was clean, and there was always something that you might like. But I'm a cruise professional, at least that's what I consider myself. So I decided to skip the buffet on Embarkation Day and head up another floor to the secret barbecue station located on deck 10. This is kind of a hidden gem on Embarkation Day, except for me, this time it wasn't. I ordered what was supposed to be barbecue beef, expecting some like really good tender brisket, but what I was served was like a beef jerky. It was dry, tough, almost unchewable. To recover, I took a lap around the ship's outer decks. First off, I stopped at the Serenity deck up front. It was solid with these big comfy clamshell loungers, a couple of hot tubs, and no kids. It's exactly what you want from an adults only zone. Then I headed down to deck 5, which is where the casino is located. I know a lot of you like to kind of see inside of what's going on these cruise ship casinos. In here, they've got slots, blackjack, poker, roulette tables, even craps, everything you'd really expect. Eventually, it was time to check out my room, cabin 1202. And this is a weird one. It's way forward on deck 1, basically at the waterline. Like every wave we hit, I'm going to hear it in this cabin. I'll be the first to know about it. I booked this room because on the deck plan, it made it look like it was twice the size of a standard interior room, and I like a surprise. And to Carnival's credit, their deck plan was accurate. I'm not joking with you when I say I felt like I could have hosted a yoga class in this cabin. There was tons of floor space. It was awesome for stretching out. In here, there's a king-size bed that can be split up into 2 twins. There's no power solutions next to the bed. The only power outlets are one US and one UK plug next to the desk here, which is not really a lot in 2025. Stepping into the bathroom, you have Carnival's signature aesthetic in here with plenty of storage on both sides of the sink. You have a shower behind you that has, unfortunately, a shower curtain, but the condition of the room was not winning me over, unfortunately. From the design with beige and pinks everywhere, to the TV having a big crack running down the screen, and a pile of mysterious white powder in the corner that nobody cleaned up the entire week, I wasn't completely thrilled in here. It definitely didn't feel like a premium cabin, but maybe you're willing to make some little sacrifices like this to get a cabin of this size. After unpacking in here and grabbing a quick cleanup, I headed up to the top decks for sail away. If you've never left from Port Miami, it's a pretty special one. You glide past these million-dollar homes on both sides of you. There's palm trees lining this beautiful long waterway, crazy boats cruising by, and people waving from South Beach that try to like run past your boat as you're sailing out. You kind of become the main event for a while, and it's really cool. We pulled out past the Freedom of the Seas before slipping by the Norwegian Gem. The sail away party was already kicking off on the Lido deck, and compared to years past, it actually felt a little more polished and planned. Less heavy bass and hip hop, and more feel-good songs. There were a couple line dances, and the cruise director, Robbie, was out there doing his thing. This party wasn't over the top wild or crazy like I've seen on some other Carnival ships, but you still had that you're on vacation now vibe, and Carnival is clearly trying to walk the line between family fun and the party vibe still happening. And this one landed for me somewhere right in the middle. I thought it was a great time. That night, I was seated in the aft dining room at table 343 for dinner, right next to the wake view windows in the back of the ship. It was awesome. Service here in the Monet dining room was on point for me. It was friendly, quick, and never once did I feel like I was rushed. I've been trying to drop a few pounds lately, so the food I ate in here, I leaned heavily into the dinner salads. They have this Asian chicken salad that's always a hit with me. It's spicy and fresh, not just thrown together. I also ate the salmon entree, which was solid. It was cooked really well. Some of the dessert options I tried were the creme brulee that was really great. Had that nice crackable caramelized crust on top. Also, the baked Alaska brings me right back to all of my other cruises. I always order the baked Alaska on Carnival. I think you should try it too. All in all, the main dining room experience here on the Conquest was a hit. I give it like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. And dinner's not the only food you eat back here. The next day, it was time for me to have my favorite meal of the cruise, which is Sea Day Brunch, which if you're new to Carnival, it's kind of a big deal. I grabbed my usual order, huevos rancheros with a pile of bacon and crispy hash browns. The food came out hot and looked really good. This was one of the best looking and tasting Sea Day brunches I've had on any Carnival cruise. Later that day, I stopped by Guy's Burger Joint as well to do some more signature Carnival dining. The line looked really long, but it moved quickly. And I had a hot, juicy burger in my hands in under 5 minutes. And that burger, whoo, it was messy and thick with melty cheese. It was a really good, solid Guy's Burger experience.
It's time for the infamous Guy's Burger. This one looks super juicy. I'm so ready for this. Just right.
Let's talk about the entertainment on board the Conquest. Going in, I didn't expect much. This ship's been sailing since 2002, and that means it's been around longer than most of the influencers' careers on board, mine included. But I was actually really surprised here. The piano bar ended up being one of my favorite places on board. The guy playing piano every night had a huge range. Think Billy Joel to Backstreet Boys. And even the cruise director, Robbie, popped in to sing a couple songs, which was a fun touch. He's new to Carnival as a cruise director, but I can tell you, he's gonna be one of those CDs that people follow from ship to ship. The dude was awesome. The other entertainment offering that I caught on here was the main theater 80s themed production show. I had very low hopes for this, considering the age of the ship and, all of that. But it was one of the best shows I've ever seen on a Carnival ship. The casting and the talent and the singing in here was so good. And Carnival's definitely invested some money in this theater to modernize it. They had these big screens, some pyrotechnics, it was well choreographed, and they held the show on 80s night, so the vibe just spilled right out from the theater to the 80s deck party, which we need to talk about now. One night on every Carnival cruise, they hold what's called the Rock and Glow Party up on the Lido deck. You may have done this before. They hand out a bunch of glow sticks. People show up in wigs and parachute pants. The DJ's playing these 80s throwback hits, and it's usually a pretty good time. And for once, I actually found myself out dancing and singing and really enjoying this Rock and Glow party. Carnival did an amazing job with the entertainment here on the Conquest. It really blew me away, especially considering the price point of this cruise. Let's get to the part where we go to Carnival's brand new private resort, Celebration Key. We were one of the very first ships to ever stop here, the second, as a matter of fact. The resort had been open for less than 24 hours when we pulled in. And the moment you step off your cruise ship here, you realize how massive it truly is here. The layout is wide open with colors that pop. The sand is like that perfect, soft, Bahamian white, powdery stuff that you really want to dig your feet into. And everything is clearly designed for two things: Instagram and spreading people out as much as possible. Actually, there's a third thing: getting you to spend as much as possible. We'll get to that. You've got this full lagoon complex that consists of a big family pool and beach area that seemingly goes on forever, and a more grown-up side that has like adult kids and an 18+ section, swim-up bars, music, DJs, and relaxing areas as well. What a awesome lagoon that Carnival's created here. This is massive, and I think it's actually the biggest one in the Caribbean. Now, here's where it gets interesting at Celebration Key. A lot of the stuff that you can use here is free. The lounge chairs, free. Umbrellas, also free. Pool access, you guessed it, it's free too. You can genuinely spend a whole day here without reaching into your wallet and giving them any money. But there's kind of a catch, and we need to talk about the elephant in the food court. Every guest in your cabin will get what Carnival calls a free swipe preloaded on their cruise card that they can use to order food at Celebration Key. And that swipe is good for one food item at the following places: the food stalls, the food carts, and the food hall on Celebration Key. I used my swipe on a chicken Caesar salad, and I also ordered a chicken hoagie, which came with a cookie for dessert because I wanted the cookie. The salad was fresh enough, it was a salad. The hoagie, though, was awful. It was soggy, lukewarm, it had this weird, like super thick, textury cheese, and the cookie, while it tasted good, was soaking wet, like it sponged up a bunch of liquid. So yes, lunch is included on Celebration Key, but unless you're down for like a cold, nasty sandwich and squishy cookie, you should probably go back on the ship to have lunch and then come back out. You can also use the swipe that Carnival gives you to get 25% off a paid meal here on the island. You probably should do that. Just my recommendation. Now, here's the part that everyone needs to hear, especially for first-time visitors to Celebration Key. This place is huge. I promise you, it's bigger than you expect.
Y'all, this lagoon has to go on forever. I've been walking for 20 minutes trying to find the end of this thing, and I think I just finally did. It turns out when Carnival says they're building the largest freshwater lagoon in the region, Carnival's not playing around with this. This is a massive departure from what we've seen at their other private islands.
There's a lot of walking and exploring, and with the lagoons being so big, you can find yourself halfway across this whole resort area just swimming your way around. And you actually end up getting so far away just swimming or going to refill your cup of water that you can't see your stuff anymore. And you end up having to leave it sitting on your chair while you're off wandering around doing things or just trying to relax, which left me worrying, is it still gonna be there when I get back? Is somebody gonna take it? Well, that's why I always bring this little like $16 lifesaver. It's this portable master lock safe. I got it on Amazon. The thing's small and it locks directly around your lounge chair. You can throw like your phone, your cruise card, some money in it. It's something that I think everybody should have here at Celebration Key. If you want to pick one of these up, I left a link in the top of the description below this video. All in all, Celebration Key was a wonderful surprise to me. It is a super premium feeling place with tons of space to head out. You definitely need to get booked on a cruise to Celebration Key to try this place out for yourself. It was super impressive. All right, real talk. Is the Carnival Conquest still that ship? The one that people call trashy or sketchy online? Well, after 3 nights on board, I can honestly say not so much. There were no people getting out of hand, screaming, causing drama, or acting a fool. Not once did I even smell anything herbal being smoked out on somebody's balcony. Sure, there were some kids that ran around every once in a while, and a few parents were just that kind of parent. But overall, this ship felt fun, relaxed, and more like a quick weekend escape than a floating frat party. With the ship being older, I had some concerns that the condition would be poor. I'd find a lot of like worn out furniture and stuff, but that wasn't the case. Carnival's done a really good job upkeeping it, with the exception of the pool deck, which needs completely redone, and the mattress in my cabin feeling like it had been folded in half where the springs would stick in my back. This ship is gonna need a little bit of a refurbishment, and I think they're gonna do that later this year. But otherwise, it was clean and in good shape overall. And the vibe on board was nothing like the shocking reviews that I've seen on social media. And if you're thinking about booking this cruise or just want to get an idea of how much it cost me, there's a link down below that takes you straight to a booking page set up for this cruise. And if you want to just hop on board, well, you could just click book and cruise. And it's all thanks to my friends over at Cruise Is It. So would I recommend the Conquest? Not to everybody. If you're the type of person that's uptight about everything, skip this cruise. But if you're fun, easygoing, you want a short cruise that's gonna take you to a really cool destination that you can't get to otherwise, and you know the price point you're cruising at, Absolutely. Pack your things and book this cruise. And if you want to know more about Celebration Key, where the ship visits, what's free, what's worth paying for, and how to maximize your time there, I've got another video that I made covering all of that in detail. It's playing here. Click on over and we'll see you there now.